From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your afternoon update.
Dennis's Heating and Air Conditioning is Northern California's premier heating and air conditioning contractor. From residential housing, large commercial projects, installation to repair, sheet metal fabrication, and everything in between, we are your go-to heating and air conditioning specialist.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's starting to heat up out there, although today, not necessarily the peak, right? We're going to really be peaking here as we go into the weekend here. Highs up to 106, 107, maybe even 108 for some of the warmer spots in the valley here by the time we do go into the weekend. Gradual cooling trend, though, and this is something I was hinting at here for the last several days. I wasn't 100% sold on that cooling trend, but now I am a little bit more sold on that. In fact, temperature is most likely dropping below normal once again by the middle and latter part of next week. So the heat wave, yes, it's going to last through the weekend, even into early next week. But yeah, maybe back down to where we have been for quite a while now as we go into next week. Let's take a look at your neighborhood forecast at a quick glance for the rest of the day today. Yes, I think some of us could touch 100, but generally mid to upper 90s in the valley, 80s and 90s for the higher elevations, and upper 60s for the coast. Let's take a look at the fire weather forecast sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service. And the winds really, the overall pattern we've been dealing with here has been afternoon gusty, not so gusty in the morning, but now it's opposite. Now we're seeing those winds picking up in the morning, as you can see here for Friday, gusts upwards of around 20-25 miles per hour. But they subside, but still breezy, even for Friday afternoon. And then for Saturday morning, Saturday midday, still some gusty winds at times. So what that means for a fire weather risk is we've got a combination of a few things. So for today, we're going to be in the mid to upper 90s. Nothing unusual where we have been, right? That's going to keep our fire weather risk in the low to moderate range. It's always good to see it. The lower, the better, right? But we still, this time of the year in particular, always need to keep our guard up, right? And do everything we can to prevent new fires. But take a look at this. We're talking about temperatures really starting to increase. We're over 100 degrees in the valley by Friday. Winds picking up, especially in the morning through midday. Low humidity. That's going to really increase that fire weather risk here as we go into the valley. And then, of course, that continues for Friday afternoon as well. For Saturday morning, once again, through the morning hours through midday, we're seeing the hotter temperatures on Saturday, drier conditions, and, of course, those gusty winds at times, especially in the morning. That's going to elevate that fire weather risk. What that means is let's be extra careful to prevent those new fires from starting. And you know, the Big Cliff fire is the one that's producing most of this smoke, and most of that smoke is going to stay in southwestern Siskiyou, parts of Trinity County. Those gray colors indicating just some of that haze, maybe a faint smell of smoke in some of those areas, but otherwise you can see really most of that smoke is just kind of being pushed a little bit to the south and a little bit to the east at times, just depending on the time of day. So we're looking at the big picture here. You've got that big ridge of high pressure building over the eastern Pacific. That is going to continue to build and get stronger as we go into Friday and into the weekend. Now the peak will be sometime around Saturday, Sunday, but look at this. By the time we get into the second half of the weekend, early next week, that bubble of heat is actually retreating, right? So it's going to really heat up Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. But then by Monday, we start to see the heat begin to move out, although we still have kind of some reinforcing heat coming in behind that from the east, from the desert southwest high. And that's going to move in and keep our temperatures fairly hot on Monday. But then that retreats as well, because look at this. We've got another series of storms riding to our north, bringing some more mild air. And as a result, our temperatures will drop below normal once again by the middle and latter part of next week. And you can see that in the 10-day trend. Absolutely gorgeous, right? Not so much right here as we go into the weekend, as we're approaching 110 for Redding. But after Sunday, look at the temperatures. They're starting to drop again. We're down to 97 Thursday, 96 Friday, and by that next weekend, possibly some low 90s. All right, so looks like we're just going to see this short stint of these triple-digit temperatures and well above triple digits, or well above 100, that is, and then it starts to drop again. All right, so for your Thursday today, some of us may touch 100 degrees in the valley, but we'll generally be in the mid to upper 90s. Temperatures in the mountains, 80s and 90s, and upper 60s for the coast. Tonight, around 70 for the valley, give or take. For the mountains, 40s and 50s, and for the coast, temperatures in the mid 50s there as well. And taking a look at your 7-day forecast for the valley, well, there's that peak on Saturday. Temperatures do start to drop, though, as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And for the coast, upper 60s, low 70s for the weekend. Temperatures start to drop after that. I'm expecting 100 degrees or higher as early as tomorrow for Trinity County and the inland areas. That sticks around through at least early next week before temperatures do start to drop again after that. And for Siskiyou, Modoc County, the temperature should stay just below 100, but still at least in the upper 90s by Sunday, Monday, slowly dropping after that. But for Susanville, yeah, you could be looking at that triple-digit heat by Sunday and Monday. That's your afternoon update. I'll be back again at 6 o'clock this evening. Have a great afternoon.
Construction season is well underway in the North State, and we'd like to remind drivers to slow down around work zones. Keep Caltrans workers safe when they're on the job, and remember to be work zone alert when you see the color orange. Remember to pay attention to signs, merge early, avoid distractions, and don't speed. This message is brought to you by Caltrans District 2.